I'm going to go over this new Compustar model. This is a cs700as. The CS for Compustar 700 is the model. This is the LT series, which is what I consider their entry level. AS stands for Alarm Remote Start. So this is a one-way system, AM-based transmitter technology-based system, and it does alarm as well as remote start all in one box. So everything you see here, this is what you got. Now this model here works with the cs700as brain, which is basically the same brain that you would find in the cs601s as well as the cs700s, just with the extra alarm functions built into it. So the technology in here is the same. These brains, as of right now going forward, are all internet upgradable. So if you ever needed to update the firmware on this module board, you can do that. If you don't know how to do it, any Compustar dealer can do that for you, or you can use the OP500 kit programmer to set the settings as well. That's how that can be done. Now over here you have a dual stage Compustar shock sensor. So you have lighter impacts, it'll give you a one-away chirp, and you also have the setting for the instant trigger, so that way on hard impacts would set up the alarm and it would run off for 2 30-second cycles. Lights flash, interior dome light if optionally connected, horn goes off, siren, the whole works, the whole horse and dog show. Over here you have a hood pin switch input, which is nice because it's got the plastic inside and it's got the metal on the outside. Lots of little lock washers, little things and gadgets. We like that kind of stuff. Easy connection. So that way when your hood is down, nobody knows nothing, but when the hood is up, this will transmit the ground because it gets it through the chassis when it's installed. Send a ground signal to your remote start systems. For the hood is open, don't remote start, so you can accidentally never hurt yourself with the system once this is properly installed. And it only works, folks, if you do install it. So that's your hood pin. Over here I'm going to get into these connections into great detail. These are your primary connections for the alarm and remote start functions. Manuals, 2 stickers, installation guide, card, the whole works. As far as the module goes, I also want to show you, because if you didn't know, Compustar also owns this company which is called Fortin. This is probably the most popular one. This thing is amazing. It wires up through the CAN. It's self-learning. It's already pre-programmed at the factory for over 500 vehicles. Just get in there, turn on the power, and it learns. It's great. This is what the bypass looks like. And actually, these bypasses come with a 3-way plug. If you'll notice, you have the plug, which is the 4-pin RS-232, which is going to this Fortin bypass. You have a white plug here and another 4-pin black plug. This 4-pin black plug is the plug which is used for this alarm system. So once that's connected, you have red, which is power, black is your ground, so that's your power and ground. Then you have your RX and TX, which is the communication between the bypass and the remote start system. Right there. No need for hard wiring except for the output side, which of course would go to the CAN in the car or whatever connections that's advised on the manual for this bypass, whichever bypass it is that you are using. Okay, but right there, plugs right in on board, very painless, really nice. In here you'll notice that there's no loop because the system is not manual transmission compatible. I mean, could you do it? Sure you could. Would I advise you do it? No, because if you are, I would advise you, and if you're inexperienced or just don't want to, you just don't really want to deal with it, step up to the Prime series and get yourself something that actually is made for manual transmissions. Inside here there's just 2 jumpers. One is for the remote start, the other one is for the door trigger input. So if you have a negative or a positive door trigger, that's how you do the selectable setting for that. Over here on the back, this is going to basically break down all the connections, but before I do so, let me just give you a quick review of what they look like. This here is your 8-pin power harness. You have your power, you have ignition 1, accessory, starter output, and you have a selectable wire which you can use as a second starter output, ignition output, or accessory output, however you choose it. And that's what the other jumper setting inside that module that I just showed you before is all about. And on the back, of course, you also have your main ground input for the system, as well as your fuse 12 volts flashing light output wire right there. Nice little mini V6 siren, small but powerful. These things do well pretty good, so they're okay. Plus you could also always add a horn output to this, so if you really want to make it super annoying, you could do horn plus a siren plus your light outputs. You can make some noise. Your antenna cable right here is 4-pin data to data. same kind of a deal. This antenna they've been using for some time. This is the ANT 1 WAM, which is the antenna-one-way AM frequency. This is the Compustar LED, 2-pin, plug right in. So it's got a nice blue LED light, so it's very nice, very modern, very fresh, very bright looking, nice LED. And you're going to get 2 of your transmitters. These are the G6 transmitters. They offer 1 foot of operating range. The icons are already built right into them, as you can see. You have your lock. You can hold that same button to do your car locator or panic mode. Unlock, trunk, and remote start. And this system also has a, I guess I'll call it a second auxiliary output. So if you want to do lock, unlock, those would be 2 channels technically. Trunk would be channel 3, and then remote start would be 4. But you can also have an additional output. So if you had a fuel door, if you want to do window roll downs or something like that, you can access that channel through this remote as well. So you have a total of 5 valid output channels with this system, which is a very cool feature. The remotes are nice. They're well made. You can hear they got a nice solid click. The pads are nice and soft. As I was trying to say before my camera decided to cut me off, the buttons on these transmitters are nice because they, like I was saying, they have a nice hard click. Like when you step on a cockroach, it's nice. I like that. And the good news is that they have big enough pads so that way a man can use it pretty effortlessly. And I think that they're also soft and pliable enough that would definitely appease a woman. And I think that that's a big thing. So if you were looking to give one of these as a gift, or just something nice that you're considering to give to your wife, and you know how women are, they're a little nutty with things that they like to have in their hands. They're very, you know, very much about physical appearance. So this, I think, would appease. I like that. Now, going forward on this system, if you were going to ever want to have a system that's a 2-way system, say if you had the system now and it's 1-way and it's working great for you, if you ever wanted to update the system and make it a 2-way, understand that that is not going to be a reality for you, because with these systems, you know, it's not like the Prime series we could just swap out the antenna, get the new kit, and reprogram the transmitters and it's a wrap. These systems are a little bit less sophisticated. So if you're going to choose a system and it's going to be your lifetime companion in your car, be happy with it being that way, because this should never really be looked at as anything else. That's what the Prime series or the Pro series is designed to be used for. So I think we covered most of that stuff except for the connections. So getting technical now, let's just see what this guy's got. You have, aside from everything I showed you on the 8-pin parking light and power accessory ignition, you have a second parking light output, which is these are all transistorized 250 milliamp outputs, by the way. Second accessory output, rearm output, horn output, which I already talked about. Foot brake input, which is going to defeat the remote start once the brake is depressed. Trigger start input, which is not really a big deal, but if down the road you ever rip this system out and you wanted to put it into another car, and you didn't want to use it as a freestanding system with the remote controls, you can program this system to remote start by 1, 2, or 3 pulses externally. That's what that wire is all about, in a nutshell. Siren output, self-explanatory, of course. Door trigger input, which has a selectable input through the jumper, which I showed you on the other side of the module. Auxiliary 1 and 2 input and auxiliary 1 and 2 outputs. Again, all transistorized outputs. Moving down the line, starter output, status output, disarm output, all transistorized outputs. You notice there's a lot of transistorized outputs. Hood pin input, that's a direct ground, which I showed you with the hood pin switch. Tach sensing input, this system is set for voltage sensing out of the box, which works really well. Very reliable, very easy, very installer friendly, very painless. So if you have a diesel, you can set your weight to start up. You can have it set on voltage sense, and if your truck's resting at 11.5, 12 volts, and the remote starts goes up to about 13, 13.5, whatever the case is, this thing learns, works fantastically well. If you have a tach, these systems will learn tach, injectors, high voltage, low voltage. I've seen them work with all kinds of things. They're very easy on you when it comes to that kind of stuff, so that's a good thing. So these are the kind of things that you're never going to know about when you just see it and you see a picture. You don't really know what you're getting into. Is this system going to make my life a living hell? Is it going to work great? Trust me, people, Compustar is a good product. It's a winner. The stuff is tried and true. It works. The service is good. The people that work at this company are very nice. If you choose to use one of their bypasses, inside they give you a free card with a code, so you can go into Wiresheet and get photographs, locations, wire colors for your specific installation application, which is excellent. So if you're looking for one, go this route. Aside from that, this system will do everything. Your locks, pulse time, you can do your run time, you can have it set for 3 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, up to 45 minutes. It has a cold start feature, so if you're in a super Arctic climate, you can have your vehicle start itself every 3 hours, which is very cool. If you need selectable outputs for your door locks, for Nissans, vacuum lock systems, all that stuff's built into it. If you have a factory alarm you're integrating with it, all the transistorized outputs that are built into the system are all there for you. So it's a great system, especially for the money. It's a really good deal. So we have these. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope it was fulfilling. But if you find that there's a question I left unanswered and you really want some help with it, just shoot me a message. Let me know what's going on, what's up. And if you did like the video, give me a like, subscribe, because there's always new stuff. I'm always talking about everything that's always coming out. So this is the place to get the information. So there you go. There's a CS700AS.